Mahindra has continued its onslaught of SUVs, and this time it's on the Scorpio, the OG Scorpio, which was the inspiration for the Big Daddy Scorpio N. Now it's called the Scorpio Classic, and if you're thinking it's just a rebadge with the new badging and some chrome added, you'd be very wrong, because there have been some big changes. Some on the outside, some on the inside, and some under the skin as well. Now sadly, this is just a first impressions video. We're not going to get to drive it out on the road, but by the looks of it, it is looking very strong. To start off with, we've got this new paint shade called Galaxy Grey. It looks quite nice, brings out the lines of the car really well. But the more noticeable change, of course, is the grille. It gets chunky chrome slats with the new Twin Peaks logo, and in that retains the butch look. And you also have revised headlamps, LED headlamps, but they get a bit of a revision in the detailing. The LED headlamps also get static bending function, and the iconic bonnet scoop has been carried over as well. Low down, the bumpers see a refresh where the fog lamp housing sees a redesign. You also got this nice silver scuff plate, but overall they've retained that butch bullish charm of the older car. So when you see it in the mirrors, you know what's coming. Over to the side, there has been no change to the dimension. The length and the wheelbase remain the same, but you still get this nice tall ride height and that typical road presence of a Scorpio. What you will notice, the new bits are of course the wheels. Now they're still 17 inches, but they get this nice dual tone finish that looks nice and modern. Up top, you've got this chunky cladding all around, which is a typical Scorpio trait, and of course gives it that butch macho look as well. Over to the side, you get these elements on the doors as well that are a Scorpio Classic exclusive. They have been added new, breaks the overall flow of the design and look quite nice as well. Roof rails are functional, so for the adventurous people out there, these will come in handy. And at the back, you have the diesel AdBlue filler tank. The diesel tank is on the other side, and that's about it. So no big change, but it still is a typical Scorpio. You've got the tall look, and it definitely has the road presence. Around the back, if you remember previous Scorpios, this long LED light bar was there, then it was removed, and now they've brought it back for the Classic. In my opinion, it looks nice, gives it a nice modern look. Of course, you have the Twin Peaks logo here as well with some piano black finish. You've got the Classic badging, that is the big telltale sign that this is the new version, and the overall squared off look is very much there. So if you are a Scorpio lover, if you like the boxy look and the straight angles, this will be right up your alley. Apart from the exterior, the interior too sees a few revisions. Now inside the Scorpio Classic, things are very much familiar. You sit nice and high, and it is a very commanding driving position. View out is absolutely fantastic, and it is very old school. You've got the dashboard that is flat, nothing protruding at you, and it has that typical old school feel. Speaking of old school feel, the key, now it might look like the new XUV 700, but it still has a turn and twist action. You don't have any push button start. Very old school in that sense, and really nice as well. Steering is wrapped in leather, that is the new bit. Instrument cluster still the same, but the big change is the touchscreen that has now grown in size 9-inch, and you get inbuilt navigation as well. Pretty nifty to use and doesn't really feel like an aftermarket. It fits well in the center console, and that looks nice as well. Other bits are the trimmings around the console. You get this sort of lacquered wood finish, and that's quite nice, gives it a nice modern feel, but at the same time it retains the whole classic theme. Seats again very comfy, nice and soft, and as you can see, quilted design that really works, gives it a premium appeal, but of course they are fabric, you don't get leatherette options, and that I think should have been included. The bright two-tone dash does elevate sense of space, and the simple layout works well even in this day and age. In terms of practicality, not a lot. You have these two cubby holes, you get a rubberized mat here, and you get a slot for your phone. But what is tricky is the single USB port that is hidden underneath here. Quite difficult to access, but that wasn't the only ergonomic flaw. The big one that the Scorpio was famous for, no bottle holders for the driver or passenger, and sadly that has continued. You still don't get bottle holders, and space down there is still inaccessible. Before we sample the back seat, let's take a look under the bonnet, where the Scorpio Classic gets the 2nd gen M-Hawk diesel engine with a 6-speed manual gearbox. Now we didn't fire it up, but Mahindra claims that it has gotten lighter by 55 kg thanks to an all aluminum construction and even 14% more fuel efficient. The gearbox too is now a 6-speed cable operated unit for better refinement, and the suspension has been tweaked as well. Although we will reserve our thoughts on the mechanical changes for our first drive review. Now in the backseat of the Scorpio, we've already sampled this before, but I just had to get a feel of it again. And things are very impressive. Broad bench, you get a nice amount of support, lots of under thigh support as well. And the view, like I said, is quite nice. You are seated high and that gives a good elevated feeling. In terms of equipment, not a lot. You get some space here, you get AC blowers and you get an armrest. In terms of seating configuration, you can get the Scorpio Classic in 7-seat layout with a bench seat in the middle and jump seats for the third row. There is also the option of captain seat for the middle passengers, and if you want to ferry even more, there is a 9-seat version as well where the third row gets seating for 4. Now like I said, the Scorpio Classic can be had in multiple configurations. These 2 seats here are the 7-seat configuration. You can obviously have it in a 9-seat version as well, which means you get jump seats, but they can seat 2 on each side. You of course have an option of a bench seat here as well. I think that's a lot of flexibility for what is a very practical car. Prices for the Scorpio Classic will be out soon, but we can expect it to undercut the higher variants of the Scorpio N and merge with the middle spec variants. Also, since it is available in only 2 variants, the S, which is the base, and the S11, which is the top, there won't be much confusion in choosing. However, with the Classic, Mahindra has carried on the essence of the Scorpio, which is that of a tough, go-anywhere, hardy SUV that paved the way for their current accomplished lineup. If the price is right, it can very well be the choice for many that won't miss the N badge.